Is it his time? Yes!
All right, welcome to the second live episode of the full squad here of the Great Bogey Podcast. I'm Cameron. We got Lousy here, the CEO, and JL with us today. We are going to talk about my caddy experience at the U.S. Open qualifier yesterday. We're going to cover PGA Tour, CJ Cup preview, LIV Singapore. We're going to talk about the YouTube Myrtle Beach qualifier, as well as the equity and possibly the Sunday Red release. Teddy, why don't you say something for the fans here?
So it's going to be a pretty exciting episode we have today. We're a little more organized thanks to Justin. We actually have a Google document that we've been making notes on the last couple of days. I'm going to be honest, this is more homework that I've done in the last probably 20 years.
Sweet.
I'd like to say that was Justin's number one strength when we did the interviews. His organization skills and just preparation in general, top notch.
I would agree. So thank you, Justin. Hats off to you.
That was pretty extenuating interview process. Lasted a solid 35 seconds. But I'm glad I put my best 35 seconds forward. And no comments.
I still can't find my socks. Yeah, sorry.
Really, the only way you couldn't become a partner in this podcast at that time was if you didn't, like, as long as you didn't wear two socks in a round of golf. I think.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, right.
Shout out to John, man. I hope you're playing golf out there, and I hope it's cold right now because we know you're wearing two pairs of socks, whether it's cold or hot, right? Crazy.
Yeah, I saw it in action. On our refresh and recharge day, Justin. He literally changed one of the pairs mid round
because he was sweating through all of them.
So I forget what it was, but I was very happy to see it in person. I can confirm he wears two pairs of socks.
I mean, I can't shit on him too much because I'm pretty sure he would kick my ass in it. And
he's also very good at golf. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Teddy, we're gonna have you go head to head, and then we can keep shitting on his socks. But until that happens, we probably have to let it go.
Is it like one crew cut and one ankle sock? Like
So I think what it is, he actually wears the no-shows on the inside.
Okay.
He likes to wear pants at golf, and it was a day he could wear pants without looking like a fool. It wasn't like 95 degrees or whatever.
Sure.
And he wears the longer socks over those. He says it stems from when he was in hockey. He couldn't find boots that would fit him in his skates. So he would use socks to make them feel like they were more snug.
So, but I mean, we're all around the same age. I mean, in basketball, that was cool in like middle school. You wore two pairs of socks, but
I've never worn two pairs of socks.
Really?
There's just zero shot that's happening in the Zyke household.
Yeah, I mean, I sucked at basketball, so it only lasted for like a year and a half, and unfortunately, my daughter has that suckness. But
No, I played a lot of basketball. I've never ran across anybody else wearing two pairs of socks out. But also Florida, it's a little, I don't know, maybe it's just different down here. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
The only time that two pairs of socks ever come close to being on my feet is if it's like negative temperatures out and I'm going to be outside longer than maybe 30 minutes.
Actually, I'm going to ask this question, Cam, because that was the first thing that I said was, I said this to Teddy via text. I said, how bad is Cam's feet hurt today after your caddying experience? So did you want two pairs of socks for that?
No, I don't see how that would have helped me at all.
Oh, the compression.
I mean, the cushion, man.
No, my
it would have matched your copper sleeves and
whatever else you were wearing.
Right?
Oh, are we done, guys? You want to talk about my caddy experience or what?
Oh, copper fit.
No,
yes.
you can talk about it.
It was great. My good buddy Eddie, who was doing the qualifying, I was just there to hang out and try to keep his clubs clean. Maybe provide a little, positive reinforcement when it came to a read on a putt.
Mm-hmm.
He was at 74, so it was par 71. Essentially, they swapped the par 5 for a par 4 or something like that. We started 1 under. We went birdie, par, and I'm like, we're going to Pinehurst. Like this is
Birdie on the first hole.
birdie first hole. He had like 89 yards in, 90 yards, and put it to like 4 feet, drained the putt, and I'm like, we're locked. We're going to
Like after that, did you call the pro shop and ask course record?
yeah. What's the course record?
Yeah.
I'll get to your question in a second, Tyler Bell, in the chat. But essentially,
Taylor Wayne Siegel? Okay. Sorry.
No, Tyler Bell. Tyler Bell, our favorite, our second favorite left-hander at this point. Essentially, what happened is we just couldn't get any other putts to fall. He had a double, a couple more bogeys. He was +3 at the end. I want to say the low round was 3 under for the day with, I think it was a 5-man playoff at even par for the last 2 qualifying spots. So last year 2 under qualified, so 69.
That's how are the conditions? Because I feel like those are some high scores for a U.S. Open qualifier.
Yeah. So what made it really tough walking carrying the bag was the wind. It was just brutal all day. Both
You noticed
two of
Teddy,
the
how he
two,
said carrying the bag. He didn't mention.
Yeah, I know.
It was hard golf. He was
I'm waiting for
the
somebody
hardest thing we did all day was carrying the bag. Can you imagine in this 30-mile-an-hour wind carrying a bag?
I feel like there's going to be a picture that comes out of him with a push cart, though, after saying this.
There's not. The push cart didn't make the trip, all right?
Somebody at Eddie.
At Eddie. He's probably watching.
Okay.
So it was, the first, after the first hole, I want to say the next 8 were dead into our face.
Mm-hmm.
And then it seemed like every time Eddie stood over the ball, it's like, you know what, we're going to blow a little harder right now. 2 of the 3 par 5s dead in your face because they're literally, I think it's number 7 and then number 14. They're right next to each other going the same direction. And they were just so tough, dude. Like, I wouldn't have made the fairway on one of them because I watched these plus handicaps maybe clear it by 20 yards, maybe.
Yeah.
Just the wind was brutal. Every par 5 was those 2 par 5s were a 3-shot hole for sure. Luckily on the other par 5, he had a 9-iron in from I think like 180. Just missed the green.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It was at our back.
And letting it go.
Number 10 at your back. He hit a great drive. I thought, we're getting out here with a birdie, but he missed the green, chipped, and 2 putts. So the course was in great condition. He played pretty well given the conditions, and for a guy who's got 3 kids, plays golf maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
So
tournament golf's different too. Right. So to go in there and actually shoot like a 74 when you're only playing 2 rounds a month, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah. Real quick before we get to talking about your guys' experience in specific tournaments, Tyler Bell, I did bring the snacks. So you Southern people who have been to Buc-ee's know they have plenty of snacks to choose from. We just got one in Northern Colorado. So I said, I'm going to go get some snacks for the round. I got some trail mix, some protein bars. I think they came in clutch. Eddie texted me today. He said, "What's the brand of that protein bar?" Because it was delicious. So I was prepared.
What was it?
I forget the brand. I said, "Tell me." Yeah, I said, "No." That's what I said. I said, "Hey, there's an extra protein bar in your bag because I left the snacks. I don't look like a guy who leaves snacks, but I did this time." All right. And I said, "If you tell me, tell me the flavor you have in there, I can tell you which one you just had."
Everyone should eat something every 3 holes. That is like one thing I noticed. Like when I started actually eating more, it was awesome. That was the key.
Yeah. So also Tyler just pointed out in the comments, yes, I forgot the LIV Pure. I wasn't happy about it. I was about 30 minutes into my drive. I said, I forgot the LIV Pure. LIV Pure, unofficial sponsor of the podcast. We know a guy who knows a guy. So with that being said, I think we should talk while we're on the topic of, my caddy experience at the U.S. Open qualifier. No, we're moving on from LIV Pure, Teddy. They don't pay us. They don't pay us enough to keep going on them
yet.
Not yet. So one thing we want to discuss is your guys. I've never played in a tournament anywhere near like anything like this competitively. whereas Teddy and Justin have a little bit more experience in that realm. So I don't know how you guys want to talk about this, but I guess I'll start with you, Teddy. Like, what is your experience playing in these qualifiers, these tournaments? What kind of tournaments have you played in? You know, how does it differ from, you know, say a golf trip or a Sunday round?
Yeah, I mean it's totally different. I mean, one, you're actually having to prepare, which nobody, when you're a weekend golfer, yeah, you might go to the range occasionally, but actually working on your game, it's a totally different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And even just the pressure, when you're standing on the range warming up, 45 minutes before you tee off, and you see like most of the time when I'm playing in like a qualifier or something like the stadiums and stuff, it's all college players. So you're walking up and down the range, and it's nothing but every Division 1
Mm-hmm.
school repped on a kid's bag, and also they're 20, 21 years old. So when it's 9 a.m. and you're on the third hole, and the beverage cart girl comes around and she tells you that you're the first person to order an alcoholic drink, it kind of throws you off your game a little bit. Um, but in most situations, like after you get through the first couple holes, you start to kind of settle in.
Mm-hmm.
The nerves aren't really there, and you've kind of figured out kind of where your game is at that point. After practicing a couple times that week, maybe a couple weeks before, and then warming up that morning, you kind of figure out kind of what you're hitting. So it gets a little bit easier, but you can play in 100 of them, and you're still going to get nervous on that first tee and that
Yeah.
first 3 foot par putt that you really should make, because if you miss it, you're kind of derailing your entire day. There's a lot of negative thoughts that are going through your head. So having to push those out and try to focus on each shot, it is a little tough.
I have a question piggybacking off like the events. Like, what kind of qualifiers have you played in, Teddy? Like, you can go recently, you can
Um,
go at any point in time.
I think I did the U.S. Open once in high school. That one's tough because it's when I did it, it was 36. You're walking 36 holes in a day.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I hate walking anyways. So walking
What?
36 was brutal. Yeah. And then so U.S. Open, state AMs, the junior state and junior national. I think match play I had to qualify for once. So most of the state level events, and then a couple of the national ones.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of people there.
Yeah, I think the way I understood it, like if Eddie were to qualify, um, then it would be the next would be 36 in one day for the I believe
Okay.
it's called
Yeah.
sectional,
Longest
Yeah.
right?
longest day of golf.
Yeah. So, I was mentally prepared, to walk 36 with him in a foreign land, because I think out of Colorado, one of them was in Canada, one was in Bend, I believe,
Yeah, it's
uh,
Pronghorn, the
one
Nicholas
in
course.
Washington. I think Eddie usually puts Washington and Oregon as his like, because I think what happens
Hmm.
is you like rank your locations of where you'd like to go,
Yeah.
and they like tell you where you're going based off that and availability. But I was ready. I mean, he made that first birdie. I'm like, yeah, we're going. Like,
You
take
already
it
had
back.
4 more copper sleeves in the Amazon cart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was
Hungry.
online shopping while caddying.
Just door dashing. You're like, I
Yeah,
forgot LIV, so I gotta pick it up.
it. Arguably, if we did go to the 36 hole qualifier anywhere, I would have put Gold Bond out of business that day.
Sure.
But we would have made it happen. Justin, what kind of qualifiers have you played in? I know you just had one recently, and then you just your feel on the first tee, or like Teddy said, 45 minutes while you're on the range. Like what's that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I played a ton of competitive junior golf and then stopped for 20 years. So those like feelings that I got last year when I went to the Oregon AM qualifier, it was real. It was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, this just like what Teddy said too. I missed the first 4 foot putt, and I was like, this is how it's going to be all day. And
Yeah.
it derailed real quick from that point forward. But like the Oregon Mid-Am that I just went to 2 weeks ago, I'm pretty like process oriented. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to warm up how I normally warm up and do some of the same things. And right away, like I felt my hands and I was like, oh, all right, well, I'm not like, cause I always warm up with an alignment stick, just point it and just kind of work on that. And I was like, yep, that's going back in the bag. We're just going to mess around with some things, like totally went off of it and don't worry about the swing. And I mean, first tee, I was doing everything to avoid hitting driver. So like, I don't want to hit driver on first tee. That's just me. I know everyone says like, I want to put the biggest face on the golf club. For me, it's like, if I can put a 4-iron in my hand or a 3-wood, then I'm going to do that. And so I just hit 3-wood. I hit it too far, but it was playable. So at that point, I was a little bit calmed down.
Yeah. I'm going to interrupt you real quick with the whole driver off the first tee. So one of the guys we played with is actually somebody Eddie knows through work, and a very good player. He didn't even have driver in the bag.
Short course?
No, I just don't think it cooperates with him.
All right.
I looked at him. It was like hole 13. He's like +4, +5. I'm like, so you don't like the big dog, huh? He's like, not right now. So he was just hitting 3-wood, I think, off the tee all day, and he puts a good swing on it. He gets it out there. He managed, but it was just very funny to like, oh, this guy doesn't even have a driver in his bag right now.
That's unfortunate. I wonder when he made that decision, like leading up to it too.
Yeah.
Like I should just take this out of the bag.
So he played the day before at the course, Collindale, and I think it was like pretty early into that round. He's like, I'm not gonna play
So it was the day before where he's like,
it could be. I'm not
I'm
sure.
just not gonna
but
bring it.
One of the
That's,
guys I played that Mid-Am qualifier with, like first tee, he hit 5-iron, and he's 80, maybe 100 yards behind the rest of us. He proceeded to hit, like next hole was a long par 4. I went 3-wood on that. No, I hit driver because I was like, I don't want to mess with a tree that was in the way. He was 100 yards behind that. Like all day, he just decided to go like 4 or 5-iron. And then he finally rips out the driver out of the bag, pounds it 320 down the middle of the fairway. And I'm like, what? Like, why has this weapon been like, why are you doing this? You're hitting 5 and 6-iron and 5 and 6-iron into par 4s. Like,
yeah,
that's not any fun.
It's tough to score that way too.
We were talking about qualifiers. We're talking about high level tournaments. We actually have in the chat right this second a high level flight winner in the Azalea Championship this year, 2024 Azalea Championship, Palatka Golf Club. Jeffrey Whipple in the chat commenting. So he says he played the Azalea, went out and partied every night. Tournament golf, Sunday golf, whatever. End of the day, it's golf.
Yeah, I mean, did
Flight
he mention that
champion, baby?
So he didn't even play on Sunday. Did he mention that?
Yeah, he withdrew and still won or something.
Right.
Is the story I heard.
Yeah.
Like winning at life or like actually won the golf tournament?
He didn't win the tournament.
What was that, Teddy?
Good. I said he didn't win the tournament.
No, he didn't.
No.
He played so poorly and probably was too hungover to get out there.
Hey,
if that's golf. The Whipple I know, then that's on par. That's par for the course.
Man.
So
he hits the nicest little baby draw about 233. So
yeah.
Are you gonna keep caddying? Are you doing it next year after this experience?
Yeah, so I did it last year. The whole cart, the push cart thing came from when I caddied last year. Eddie forced me to use a push cart. I said, okay, like sounds good. I feel like I'm just here on a Sunday stroll with you anyway. So, so I think we're actually doing the U.S. Amateur Qualifier at Common Ground the week before we go to Pinehurst. There's Eddie in the chat. So. It was a lot of fun. Like, don't get me wrong. Like hole 11, I'm like, okay, this back nine's like I need to we need to dig deep here because we're gonna be getting tired here. Just that wind was beating me down. I had my big ass water bottle that I forgot to drink out of for like 8 holes, so it was just another 3-4 pounds there.
Then you're
So.
dehydrating yourself and feeling even better. Yes.
Oh, it's the CGA Mid-Am qualifier and then the CGA Championship qualifier that we'll be doing out at the Common Ground, which is home of the CGA. So, but yeah, I'll do it again next year as long as Eddie will have me. I bring good snacks. I make people laugh sometimes. I will give myself a C+ on the whole club cleaning aspect of the caddying this year. There was a few times Eddie looked at me after pulling a club out of the bag and said, I'm really disappointed in you, Cam. Just a little clump of dirt or what have you. So
My daughter took the caddying piece pretty damn serious. Like she washed clubs before we got off the range.
Mhm.
She actually went up on the practice because I was hitting like a few chips. She went up there and actually grabbed them all and put them in her caddy bib and walked them all back and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty legit.
She's sold on caddying aspect of it.
It's great, man. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Like if you love golf, you're gonna love helping, somebody you enjoy being around. Like I said multiple times, Eddie's one of the best golfers I've played with personally. So even just like watching him and the other people playing, like it's high level golf compared to like what I do every week when I play. Right. And I enjoy watching that. And then also like if he wants my help, like I'm more than happy to try and give it to him. There was one time like, hey, Eddie, I'm going to shut up on the greens here because I'm not confident in what I'm saying. I didn't tell him that part. I just said I'm going to shut up. So
I was going to say, I hope you didn't say that.
Yeah.
No, I was like, let me just let him do his thing. And maybe that helps. I mean, he wasn't necessarily like, I wasn't like forcing my opinion on him, right? I said, I'd be like, Eddie, what do you see here? I'm like, what are you looking at? What do you like? And, if it was far off from what I'm seeing, then maybe I try and say like, what about this? Or if I liked what he said, I said, yeah, I think that's great. I think you go with that.
Yeah,
and we're
just try to give him confidence.
Yeah. So I thought I did a pretty good job. I had a lot of fun. I know Eddie has fun. He likes playing in those, nervy, competitions. It makes sense. He played college golf and he's won a few college tournaments in his day, and it was a lot of fun. I'll do it at any time I can.
Teddy, when was your last like big tournament that you played in?
Probably Ocala has like some. So Ocala is like Central Florida, and for some reason, I guess just the location between like Gainesville and Orlando and like all of like the big in Jacksonville, like all of the old like really good golfers that played at like UF and like all the big schools, they like retire in Ocala. So they have some pretty big tournaments, and they do this one invitational, and I played that like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was just a 3 day at like the Muni course there, and I think I shot like 2 or 3 under the first day, and then like even the second day. I was like 4 or 5 shots back, and like felt pretty good, and then I think I shot like 76, and like the everybody else shot 6 or 7 under on that final day, and I was like, yeah, I don't have that today. I don't think I'll just take my gift card and go home. And yeah, I think that was the last one. It's been a few
Yeah.
years since I did like the state am ones and stuff.
Yeah, I
Mainly
played
because
that.
the beverage cart girl told me I'm the only one drinking, and so I was like, I don't know why I'm here.
It's
You
so
have to
funny
give
you
us
say
a-
that because there was nothing like that at this one. Like, there's no beverage cart girl out. Like,
Well,
everyone was like dialed in
and I thought it was odd because usually they don't have one.
right.
So,
Yeah.
but like you can go in and like get a couple beers or something. But like I saw her driving around, so I was like, hey, and like flagged her down. I was like, yeah, can I get a transfusion double with Tito's? And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, I mean, yeah,
Just
I
shaking
just
like this. Yeah, I'm
I,
sure.
I
I'm nervous as shit.
Are you making it a triple? Is that what we're unsure of at
was
this
like,
point?
I don't know what
Like,
we're. And she was like, you don't want like a Gatorade or something? And I was like, is nobody else drinking? And she told me that she almost didn't even bring alcohol on the cart because nobody ever drinks at this thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it helped though. I think I shot like even or one over or something. So I mean, it was fine. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I don't know. After like last year, I got my ass kicked in competitive golf, and just from like being out of playing that type of golf.
Yeah.
And then this year, it's like, oh man, all I want to do is go play in another tournament. Like
Mhm.
I want to play, and I want to feel that way again. Like that was so much fun. So I love that aspect.
I think I did one of those golf week Am Tour ones because one of the guys that we know is always bragging about winning like the third flight. And so I wanted to see what the fuss was all about with those, and it was like one of the worst ran tournament like series things I've ever played in. So I played in one, won it, and then I never signed up for another one after that. So I was like, this was a joke. This whole thing was a joke.
Yeah.
Speaking of serious, should probably do our little preview of the CJ Cup, huh?
Yeah, I think now's a good time to move on from the US Open
I mean, that's the
qualifiers.
most serious tournament that's
Mhm.
coming up, I think. I mean, I'm not going to go as serious as Singapore. But yeah.
What do we want to do? We wanted to kind of preview the field, pick winners, pick dead lasters.
Yep.
Uh,
So I thought this was interesting. Like, it's actually a fairly long course.
Mhm.
But let's be real, it's a Texas golf course, right? So it is wide open. There are no trees. So 7,400 yards, par 71. And I think when I looked up this stat, it's the second easiest course on the PGA Tour, stat wise. And as a par 72, it was the like easiest course on the tour. So they moved it to a par 71 to try and make it a little bit.
What they do? Remove a
harder.
par 5 and make it a long par 4. I assume.
Yeah. So the only par 5 on the back 9 is hole 18.
Yeah.
So bent grass. It's a private club, which I mean that's the only bummer about so many of the PGA Tour events is that a lot of them are on private clubs, so you can't actually go play it. I thought when I looked at the weather, like rain all week, scattered thunderstorms, like it's projected to have thunder like almost every day. I was like, oh, that's gonna suck for them, but it's gonna make this course even easier. So
Yeah.
like in the years past, that was its only like defense was rock hard burned out greens.
Mhm.
I mean, look at last year. Jason Day was 23 under. Scotty actually played last year and he was 20 under. And then you got 2022, which was 26 under. Spieth was 25
Mhm.
under. Hideki was 24. I mean, everything. And then for whatever reason, I was looking down like through the years of it. It was like 2017, and for whatever reason it was cut in half. So I think that's when they actually switched it from a different course.
Well, wasn't it at Trinity? The Byron Nelson was at Trinity Forest.
Yeah.
In Dallas for a while. I'm not sure when the switch made. I bet Tyler Bell knows that. But yeah, I imagine with it being soaked, like these guys, they're going to be just holding greens on every shot they have. I don't know if it's pouring down rain, it's soaking wet, but they're still playing. You know, how does that affect? There's going to be more mud balls, I imagine, clean place like they did very early on in the seasons here.
I'm pretty sure Cam is saying that there's gonna be mud balls and that's gonna make things a little bit tougher, but absolutely heard nothing that you said right there, Cam.
Can you hear me now?
We can, yes.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, how I was asking you guys, you know, how does that affect, you know, the balls if they don't play live clean in place, you know, which.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will though. I mean, they usually do, especially if it's going to be saturated at all. And I mean, those guys, if you think about it, even after like a thunderstorm or something, it's usually not as windy either. That's probably the only other thing that could really deter them from going as low as they've been going.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're going to be able to hit their spots that much easier. And I mean, their dispersions crazy tight anyways.
I have a question about the live clean in place. Like, I kind of hate it.
Like
Why
playing
do you these?
live
No,
clean in place, or
the PGA Tour playing live clean in place. I don't like it. These are the best players in the entire world. Like this game should be hard for them. You have to make it hard for them.
Yeah, but I'll take a different approach or viewpoint on that because you really want like a random piece of mud that randomly got thrown on there and is going to affect it in the most like just odd way to be
I do.
what turns a tournament around.
I do.
Really?
Listen, Eddie had a mud ball yesterday, and
Yeah.
it hadn't rained in a few days.
I don't think
He couldn't live clean and place it.
I don't think there's
going to
be mud in Texas for this event. I mean, even if it rains a fair amount, I don't think that area is going to get
I don't know.
mud
I think they
like
should
it
play.
would in Colorado.
They need to play it down like it's EOYB at the Golfers Clubhouse Championship. Okay, that's it. I don't like it. Like I get it, but I don't. These are the best players in the world. Like they can figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You really want them hitting out of like plugged lies and stuff? Like you're just gonna get. I mean, it would be carnage. So like, I guess if you're just trying to see some chaos,
I mean, maybe
then
that's what he wants.
I think that's kind of.
I don't. But
like
that clearly, Cam has never actually hit a mud ball in his life. So.
Oh, I think he's hit plenty of mud balls.
Yeah, I've been in mud plenty of times. I play live clean in place, but I'm also an 11 handicap.
Well, you don't play lift clean in place. You play I pick up, clean the ball, and I throw it somewhere else and swing away.
I do not do that. Okay.
No.
Does Copperfit make a golf ball?
I think that live clean in place.
I was wondering that.
Like to get a little bit of dirt off a lie that's sitting in the fairway. I don't think that's the same as a plugged lie, you know. I think there's a balance maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
like yeah, if 90% of your ball is stuck in the ground, then like yeah, live clean place.
Yeah.
But if you have a little piece of dirt on it that you think is going to affect your ball, like tough luck, dude. Hit the ball.
I mean, and there are some weeks that they are actually doing that. So I'm sure we've seen that. I mean, we don't have Bryson on tour anymore, so we don't get to hear about him like crying about it all the time. But yeah.
So our number one fan, number one listener, Michael Brian Ort says they play pristine, perfect conditions every week. Let them cry about a mud ball. I agree, Ort. I agree.
Well, on that note, who are you guys thinking for winning the CJ Cup?
So I went with Jason Day. KH Lee went back-to-back in 2021 and 2022. I think Jason Day goes back-to-back 2023, 2024.
Really? No Spieth this week?
I'm out on Spieth. Spieth stock is tanked in my ledger here, so I'm done.
Can somebody at Jordan Spieth in the chat?
Tyler, can you text Jordan and let him know that for me?
I was gonna say, wasn't he you haven't even mentioned it this podcast yet. I thought this was your perfect spot about you and him walking down the fairway.
They actually
Texas.
They actually might have been playing live clean in place at the Waste Management, which if you know, I was there for the Tuesday practice round.
Nailed it. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going Jason Day outright winner. Back to back. Why not? Plus he was like the top ranked player in my pick'em pool. So I was like, let's use Jason this week.
Okay. Fair pick.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I really dislike his pants at this point. So I don't think I can put any money on to pick him in any pick'em at this point.
I mean, they held up in that second or third round of Augusta whenever it was blowing 40.
Hammer pants.
So,
oh man,
he was able to stay on the ground.
How much do you think they paid him for his deal?
So much.
Here's the pants you're gonna have to wear, but here's your paycheck.
And here's your sweater vest.
Yeah, that you're gonna get.
I didn't mind the sweater vest. I kind of liked the sweater vest.
Really?
Being honest. Oh yeah.
I mean, it wasn't so hideous where it's like, oh yeah, the guys at the Masters
I-
are bored.
I think
Should
that's why I
ask
liked
for
it,
but
is because it was so hideous, where it was
Yeah.
And
like
it was at the
so over the
Masters.
top. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was like, this is actually kind of cool.
the pants were just so incredibly baggy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is
Well,
wind
Adam
pants.
Scott had been wearing like the pleats for the last few years too, so
Mhm.
Well,
it wasn't
speaking
like completely out of the realm.
speaking of my pick, I'm taking Adam Scott this week because
Oh,
I think he can drive the ball and I think he can actually putt. Contrary to some popular belief, but I want to see Adam Scott, that silky smooth swing, actually.
He's got
have
that
some
lab
success.
putter.
Yeah.
so you think the broomstick's going to hold up in that Texas wind and rain?
Yeah, that's the only problem that probably hits that. But at this point,
I mean, he's got to be anchoring it if he's going to be able to keep it stable, right?
they're
So
not
he's-
projecting.
so he's a
wind.
cheater
They're
now.
just they're just projecting. They're just
what they're
projecting.
saying.
I'm just
pattern
asking the
thunder.
question.
So, I'm hoping he actually turns up for this one.
All right, so Adam Scott and Jason Day. So what sucks is I was going to pick Ben Griffin, but he just announced, I can't remember if it was today or yesterday, but he's switching to the Max Fly golf ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's just something about these guys that play Pro Vs and Pro V1Xs all throughout like competitive golf, college golf, and then when they get to tour, and then some company throws them a bag, they switch golf balls, and then they never stay competitive after that. They never do.
And
They never do.
of all the equipment pieces that you want to mess with the golf ball.
Something that you've played, most of these guys have played the same ball since they
20
had
years.
started.
Yeah.
I mean, Rom might be the only one that switched when he switched to Callaway and switched to their ball. Like, that's probably the only one.
I assume Rom was Titleist before, like most of these guys are.
I think he was. Or no, he was TaylorMade.
Yeah, I was gonna say he
TaylorMade,
was
yeah.
tailor-made. Yeah.
He was TaylorMade. So he played like the TB5 or TB5X. But I just so I'm not picking him anymore. I'm off Ben Griffin. He's done. He'll be on the Corn Ferry Tour. Well, after next year. So I'm actually going with Maverick McNeely. He's a name that's been on the leaderboard pretty much most of the year. I think he's played pretty much every tournament so far. A couple top 10s so far. Played well at the Players, Waste Management. Cam, you were there. And then he also, I think he's top 20 for strokes getting off the tee. It's a long course. Got to put the ball in the fairway, be able to score. And then, around the top 30 in putting as well. So if you can hit it far, keep it in the fairway and putt, most of the time that's going to be a pretty good recipe. So I got my money on him for this week.
So we've got Jason Day, Adam Scott, a couple of vets, and then we got some guy named Maverick McNeely. No, I've heard of Maverick. I'm just kidding.
Some guy.
Some guy.
Some
yeah.
guy.
That's a pretty big name. Nobody there, Cam.
Yeah. So one thing we're doing new this week is we're going to pick our dead last finisher. This is going to be our worst score, furthest from the cut line, right? So whoever shoots, let's say it's probably going to be, if the winning score is 23 under last year, cut line is probably going to be, what do you say, 7, 8 under par?
No, because you're only going to have 2 days, so it'll probably be maybe
4?
a couple under at most. Yeah.
4 or 5. Okay. Well, we should also do that then. We should also say what we think the cut line is going to be.
I'm going to say 2 under. Done.
2 under for lousy hair.
2 under. I want to see him actually go low and go through that, but the weather.
They're still going to go
And the
low.
mud balls will affect him.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're not playing lift clean in place.
Yeah. I'll go 1 under.
1 under. Okay.
Okay, well I'll just go 4 under and be right, and we'll call it good.
I
All
was
right,
leaning in that direction and decided at the last second I'm going safe.
So our dead last finishers. I thought it was gonna be funny, maybe say Jordan Spieth for mine, but I'm not gonna do that.
At Jordan Spieth. Somebody at Jordan Spieth.
Yeah. Tyler texted and let him know I said that. I don't know who I want. Who do I want to take dead last? I'm gonna go with Ben Griffin with the ball change.
That's a fair pick.
For dead last,
Yeah.
the guy who doesn't make the cut. You don't think he's making the cut just because he went to Max Fly?
Hey, it's my pick. Nobody said you had to agree with it.
If it was any other brand, I mean, maybe.
All right. I'm kind of going back and forth on this, but I think I'm going with the guy who got in the playoff to even make this tournament. I just think he's going to shit the bed, so it's going to be Brad Hopfinger.
Okay.
I mean, but sometimes those guys, I mean, with you got like a Cinderella story. Obviously, they're playing well, right, to get through. I don't know if he played the pre-qualifier or not, but somehow get through that, get through the Monday qualifier, and now he's just going to completely blow up.
I'm just hoping like the nerves happen. I mean, my other choice in there was like Nick Watney, which I think he has a
I
very
thought about him too.
large chance to blow up. I even and I don't want to do this because I really like the guy as an announcer, Kevin Kisner. I do not want to see him get dead last. But
he's not done well in the tournaments he's played.
He is not playing well. He does not hit the ball long compared to anyone. He is so short with his driver. I mean, he can putt the ball, but I don't see him being like one of those guys that can just go rake in 10 birdies and 4 bogeys and call it good.
No, especially a tournament like this where it's 20 plus under.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he has that in his.
I mean, I would love to see Kiz come back and have some good form and play really well before he hangs it up to actually become an announcer, because I enjoy listening to him as an announcer. So selfishly, I want to see it happen, but I also think it'd just be super sad.
I'm gonna, Teddy, before you go, I'm gonna change mine. So I only said Ben Griffin because I couldn't remember who I wanted to say, but I remember who I wanted to say. It's gonna be Martin Trainer. He's gonna be dead last.
Oh, is he in this week?
Yes. Okay, sorry, Teddy. Proceed.
That is a great pick. He is just like feeling like shit after last week's chip.
Yeah, that's a fair pick.
Yeah, I would totally pick that one. That was a good one, Cam. Props.
Yeah, well, that's actually who I was gonna pick. So I guess I will. So I'll go with Sung Kang. I don't know if you guys kind of remember him at all. He was competitive like a few years back. I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago. I think he won an event once, or he had like a few like top fives. But then kind of like fell off the face of the earth and has started to play in some events as of late. However, in the 3 events he's played this year, he's missed the cut all 3 times. So not great. So I'm going to go with him, Sung Kang, former George Gankis student. Shout out GG. But
he's won on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I said that. I thought he had won.
Yeah, so he won. His official money earned is $10.5 million. Not bad.
Yeah. He was up there.
I do vaguely remember him. Yeah.
You can only pick him though, Teddy, if you can actually say his the correct pronunciation of his correct name.
No comment.
It's kind of long.
Because I can't.
Yeah. So. All right, so we've got our top picks, our dead last, which will kind of be interesting because I don't think I've ever scrolled past the cut line to see where people ended up. So that'll kind of keep it cool.
Yeah,
now
definitely something. I mean, I definitely think we should do that going forward as well.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fun, actually. Good idea for me. You guys are welcome. Came up. So now, Cam's favorite topic. Are we going straight to LIV?
I think we have to. I mean, they're rarely they're playing more than once a month right now. They're 2 weeks in a row here at Sentosa in Singapore. This is last year. Taylor Gooch went back to back at Adelaide and then Singapore. So ever since then, there's apparently asterisk on every tournament he's never been in.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
That goes for the CJ Cup as well. We need to make that known. I don't know much about the golf course, but I know, Teddy, I think you have a fun fact for us to share about tourism and why they're back in Singapore.
It's funny because the only reason that they're going back to this course in consecutive years is because the tourism department just shelled out stacks of cash to LIV to get them to come back. So
big stacks.
I think there was a Phil Mickelson interview where he was talking about the tourism departments.
Yeah, that's where I learned this fact was
just throwing money at everything. I'm sure Tyler Bell is going to jump in the comments to correct us, but we'll ignore him.
I'm never sharing my Google sheet with Teddy ever again. Lousy.
So we had this pre-show meeting. Justin shared that fun fact, and Teddy instantly said, "I'm going to say that on the podcast." So now it's Teddy's. Justin lost the ownership of that
Teddy
one.
came up with it.
I don't know anything different. So Brendan Steele last week at Adelaide. Do we need to start asterisking tournaments if he's not in there too? I mean, what's the standard on that?
Are we gonna do the same thing for LIV that we did CJ Cup? Off the cuff, who's first?
God, jeez.
Cam, who you taking?
Teddy's gonna. Yeah, so Teddy's going to be here for about 6 hours trying to figure out.
Well, no, I could pick who's going to come in last, right?
Yeah.
Last is
I'm
Anthony
taking AK.
Cam.
AK is my pick. Dead last.
Cam, who said it first?
I mean, Teddy said it first, but
Thank you.
There are no rules.
Yeah, that's true.
It sucks because AK actually had decent first 2 days in Adelaide. I think he was even par, and then he just put down his leg.
No.
Cam on his internet.
Justin, why don't you go ahead?
I think he was talking about how he actually pooped down his leg and he had to go do something. So
yeah, Eddie actually texted me a couple minutes ago and said that Cam and there's a copperfit sleeve hanging in a tree somewhere off number 9.
Oh, so brutal.
So I mean, if anybody goes to that course,
hello?
And he's back. Yeah. Cam got his new copperfit.
That was good.
So if anyone knows anyone at Copperfit, that's going to be the first official sponsor.
Yes.
Really, really putting that in to try and help Cam out.
Copperfit, then LIV Pure, maybe Zen, and then Sunday Red.
Sunday Red. But I don't know. I'm really actually hoping Cam Smith can make a push. I'd love to see him come back and actually win another tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, he played all right last week. But this also means that I'm going to try and pay attention to it. And I don't even know what time it will actually be on. I know
it's going to be like 9 or so. It's not going to be too bad.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I might watch it.
9:15. Cam's internet just went out.
Yeah.
So like 9:15. So I mean, I might watch it. I don't know.
I'll watch
That'll
some
be
of
the
it.
first one.
Again, and I don't know who roasted me last week on it for hating on LIV, even though I looked like a Scotty Scheffler starter kit with my Nike hat on. But it's just the audio. It drives me absolutely nuts. And I think somehow they've got to figure that out on the CW, because if they figure that out, I will actually start watching it, because I do like the team aspect of it.
I mean, it's
a little chaotic, but I would pay attention.
And I mean, they're still kind of figuring it out too. So Cam Smith to win. I mean, I don't know. I don't hate the Cam Smith pick. I also don't know. It seems like on LIV it's a little bit easier for guys to go back to back and kind of stay competitive.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would take Brandon Steele though. I might take Rahm, just because he was I think he was like 5th or 6th last week. He was pretty close, I think.
Yeah, he was. I think
he was up there.
Yeah, he was actually tied for 3rd.
Time for third. Yeah.
Charles Schwartzer, Ogletree, Neiman.
Yeah, I'm not picking Ogletree.
Yeah.
Can't
I
trust
mean,
that.
you got Mito Pereira that was eighth in there. I mean, he's gonna snap hook it into some water on the
Right.
hole, but
Yeah, I'll save him for a major. But yeah, so I'd probably take Rom to take the win in Singapore. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
I think that's probably a good pick with
Yeah.
that. So
That's
I
a
mean,
solid pick.
Brendan Steele's still drunk from winning $4 million and trying to
Right.
figure out his life, so he's gonna recover on that. So we'll see how that goes. Well, look at that! Our fearless leader is back.
Dude, my internet literally just stopped working. Whatever happens when I'm on a Zoom call with a client and they're freaking out on me for how much, their life sucks with us. But moving on. I
Do you
was
think it's
listening.
because you have so much copper near the computer and like
I need
it's
you
just
to
messing
explain
up
this
the wiring?
copper joke to me. What does this mean?
Copper fit? The socks? The sleeves? You know you're wearing them.
I don't have any socks on right now.
You don't have. Well, I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks right now.
Yeah, too.
Great, you're off the
Sweating it out.
podcast. See you, Teddy.
Yeah.
So who picked Cam? I was listening while I was figuring out the internet.
I picked Mr. Smith.
Okay, and Teddy, sounds like you were in between like Rom and.
I ended up picking Rom.
Okay, you picked Rom.
Ended up picking Rom.
I think I'm gonna go with Joaquin as my.
Joaquin Neiman. I heard that part and then he froze a little bit. But he did move, so he's back. Look at that.
Joaquin Neiman
Yeah.
winner.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right, so this is actually
Dead last Henrik Stenson.
Oh, that's actually a solid pick right there. I was gonna
That's
say
a good
Pat
pick.
Perez just because I want to see him lose at everything, but he actually played well last week, and I mean better than he has in the past. The next the thing I wanted to actually talk about, because I think this is funny as hell. Like they actually for a PGA Tour event, the Myrtle Beach Classic, it's coming up. They did a YouTube qualifier. So I mean, there was other pros in there, but there was, and I think there's been 2 or 3 of these now. I think they're having 3 qualifying events for this, but one of them that probably everyone in the chat will comment on is it was actually the YouTube golfers going in there. And did you guys watch that?
Yep.
So I didn't watch Myrtle's production of it, but I watched most of the YouTubers. I watched their sides of it. It was pretty good. It was pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, it was cool to see some of the people that like you'll watch play YouTube. I mean, and they're pretty damn good golfers. I'm not going to say they're horrible.
Yeah.
Some
but,
are
I mean,
better than others.
Yeah, I mean George Bryan, like dude's a stick. I mean,
Yeah.
he pretty much belongs on the PGA Tour. He's not as big of a dick as Wesley, so I think he'd probably have a bigger fan base. But you know, he lost in a
Somebody
playoff.
at Wesley Bryan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tyler, if you could get Wesley in the chat,
Just go
I
ahead and
appreciate
text Wesley for us.
So
I thought the Golf Myrtle Beach video, like the actual broadcast and what they put out, I really enjoyed watching it. It was broadcast style with still some interviews thrown in there with some commentary. There just wasn't a lot of noise going on, which I almost like appreciated.
yeah.
Like we're just sitting there, we're watching these guys play golf at this, the course was in great condition. It looked good. And it's familiar faces, right, with the YouTubers, like, oh, these guys are actually playing a competitive round compared to playing their 4-man scramble, weird video, what have you.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. I felt bad for George. That was such a brutal last hole. He needed a par. All he had to do was par.
Yep.
The par 5, and he just.
I mean,
pooped down his leg.
he got a gift to him too as well. I mean, he got the sponsors exemption, so he's gonna be there and he's gonna play, which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, do we consider George an actual pro, or is he a YouTuber?
I mean, he made the cut in the last event. He got an exemption.
He's a YouTuber. We had
Yeah,
this
I feel-
discussion in our chat, and I think he's a YouTuber. I think Wesley's more of a YouTuber than a pro, but recency bias. Wesley's played well. Don't get me wrong,
He played well
Well,
last week.
but
not
you see
even
more of
recency bias.
he's
He's
won the RBC Heritage, whatever.
He's
Teddy.
won a professional tournament.
like he's up there.
But I think first and foremost, he's a YouTuber. Both Brian Bros, if you ask me.
So I mean, he was the top YouTuber. We're gonna go with that. Matt Atkins came in at 3 under, and then you jump down to Peter Finch, which honestly I've never even watched a video of Peter Finch. For whatever reason, never got
Because
into
he's
it.
not American.
If I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch a
that's probably-
European, it's gonna be Rick Shields,
Oh.
just because his heavy ass Scottish accent. I don't know a word he's saying. But the video of him drinking Guinness beers with Bob Does Sports Crew,
Oh yeah.
it was good. It was very good. It was a lot of fun, and I don't watch much Rick either. I've only seen a handful of minutes of Peter Finch myself as well.
Rick Shields actually has his own Echo golf shoe coming out. It's a limited edition Echo golf shoe. Yeah, it's like red and black with the white, like pretty cool, but like who's actually gonna buy that? And actually, speaking of YouTubers coming out with stuff, I mean, Good came out with a golf shoe as well. So they've got the Callaway golf shoe. So now we're just gonna go on a run of YouTubers with actual golf equipment.
They had the putters come out last year, and I don't think it was as successful as they had anticipated. I think with apparel, it's tough, especially like a golf
Tank
shoe.
on apparel.
Yeah,
Good
I think with
crushes apparel.
with their clientele, their fan base, like the apparel goes out the door faster than it can come in, right? The putters and everything. I mean, people like what they like, and to go out on a limb and just go buy a $300 good putter. It's probably
I think it was like $350, $400.
Yeah, it's like I'm
Well,
good on that, but I'll buy every shirt you release.
That's probably
Yeah.
why they
Yeah.
actually went back to the Odyssey putters. So now they just have the.
Did they all go
edition.
back to whatever they were using? And
Yeah. So, but speaking of like a good hat for member guests last year, there's a club here in town, and a buddy and I have played for the last 3 years. We actually bought a good hat, and then I bought a bad birdie hat. So depending on how we were playing, because we weren't going to be the matchy matches, one of us wore a bad hat and one of us wore a good.
gotcha.
So that's the only good that I've ever bought, though.
I've never bought any good apparel. It just doesn't meet. It doesn't really stick out to me, and
no, it feels weird.
I'm probably on the older side of the people that they're targeting, anyways.
Yeah, it would be creepy.
Yeah,
I mean,
it would
for the YouTube event, the one that I was surprised about was Luke Kwan. I thought Luke Kwan was going to actually straw it there and like win. And
I thought George
78.
Bryan and Luke had probably the best chances of the YouTubers from just watching them. Their passing. I mean, Luke Kwan's played professional golf before, played high level at Oklahoma. I thought those two had the best shot going into it.
Yeah,
And Grant, I like Grant Horvat, so I was kind of rooting for him too. But I know that he's not quite up to George for sure. So
yeah, it's a different level. Yeah.
And then you got Fat Perez with an 81, Cole Lance, which no one ever
that's Busta Jack.
Yeah, Busta Jack.
That's Mad Jack from Busta Jack. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got Micah Morris, who goes out and shoots a 14 over par for an 86. I mean,
it's a different beast. He was feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I didn't think that would actually happen from him, because I mean, just from me being the casual YouTube subscriber and like watching some videos here and there. I mean, the guy hits it a mile. He did that TaylorMade video with Rory where they were trying to see who could get to like 1,700 yards first or something. And I mean, Micah's punishing a ball and putting it out there like 350.
Yeah.
I think he made I think what happened with him, he lost his T-ball. Like he could not keep it in balance. I think he made 4 doubles in a row, like on 6, 7, 8, 9 or something like that.
Been there.
Got it.
He was the two drives I remember vividly from his video, like early on in the round, was like, yeah, they were just snap hooks right into the fairways.
Oh yeah,
Or-
he
or-
got double bogey on 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh
So
man.
it was very early on where the wheels came off.
Interesting.
Well, to
I mean,
end up at 14 over after that's not horrible.
Yeah. I mean,
All
4
things
double
considered.
bogeys.
I think the most surprising was, especially if you're on, Golf X, Golf Twitter, is like everyone was saying Daniel Rappaport was going to finish dead last from foreplay and Barstool. And he was grinding all day. Like I watched his video yesterday of like his little recap where it's just his shots. I mean, he hit like 2 fairways, but he made like 5 birdies.
Hmm.
I think he shot 78, like still over par, don't get me wrong. But I mean, he shot 10 shots better than the rumor. Everyone thought he was the 86 of the YouTubers. And he showed up probably for one of the guys who doesn't play as much golf as probably all the other YouTubers, right? I mean, he has his journalism side, so he's like actually at events, interviewing pros
Actually
and
working.
that side.
Working.
Yeah, actually honest living rather than just pumping out content, for clicks. But I with him, I got a love-hate relationship with Rappaport. He doesn't necessarily fit right into the foreplay kind of.
Somebody at Daniel Rappaport.
Yeah, it doesn't fit into the foreplay like mold like of what they have, but sometimes he does, and it works really well. And he's the better golfer of the 4. I don't know how I feel. I don't know.
I think
But I know he was a
he's
surprise.
just different. I mean, and I think that's why they brought him in, is because he fills a void of legitimacy that none of those guys could bring. And he's actually a talented writer. And so for
you're saying foreplay and Barstool brought him in for that,
Yes.
not the
Yes.
qualifier. Yeah, no, I agree, and I think the qualifier made me like him more, as part of foreplay and as like just a content creator.
Because he actually went out there and like succeeded to some extent. I mean,
he held his
played
own.
well.
I mean, he wasn't dead last out of the YouTubers. He beat, I think, Horvat, Quan, who have played high level tournaments, and Fat Perez and Micah. Micah's played in qualifiers plenty.
Yeah,
This wasn't necessarily a new thing for him. Whereas I think Daniel Rappaport is probably like one of his only, if handful of like large, important tournaments.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah, so
Hey,
well, congrats
we
to
got-
Matt Akins.
yeah, we got a question, Justin, for you. Did you give up on the full golf attire for the podcast, or are we going more casual now?
I was honestly cold. I'm sorry, Jeff. I will go full on Nike just for you next week. I promise.
Yeah.
My $15 shirt and my $10 hat.
Well, Cam and I ordered knitted Sunday red mock shirts.
Matching.
So the
Matching.
podcast is already going bankrupt because you guys decided to spend
Correct.
everything on just 2 shirts. So that's good.
I think once our sponsorships, once the sponsors sign their part of the contracts, we'll be fine. We're hoping, it's in the works with Tiger and Sunday Red, to get him on board. But
That should be
I'm-
easy enough.
I was looking through the release.
Somebody
I didn't
at
mi-
Tiger Woods. Just
I
go
didn't
at
mind a
Tiger
lot
Woods.
of his things. Tyler, if you get Eldrick
If you
on
could
the
just
phone.
go ahead and text.
I mean, I know I'm completely against you guys on this. I'm not a fan of the Sunday Red stuff. I don't know.
The worst part about it is that it's not that Sunday is 2 words. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, I'll never accept that.
Yeah.
But looking at the apparel, the hats I actually really liked. Everything sold out, because Teddy and I bought it all. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, Justin.
I think it looks good. I think it's well made, and it's probably pretty high quality stuff. We'll
A
find out.
$90 training shirt.
I'm not gonna buy that. Why would I buy that?
I mean,
I
not
don't
to
even know why
train
they've got
him,
it. Like, what's the point? I mean,
I'm
Tiger
here for
said
the mock
for
minutes,
athletes.
all right.
I mean, I think the stuff that was available like today, obviously there wasn't a lot, but some of the like upcoming drops that they were showing, like it seems like it's going to be pretty neat. Some of the different styles and stuff that they're going to do, and I don't really have too big of an issue with the price. I mean, some of the stuff, Like I'm not spending $50 on a ball marker or $70 on a t-shirt, but the polos were like what, $130. I mean, a Peter Millar shirt's 110, 120. Holderness and Bourne's 110, 120. I mean, they're all around that price range, and
I
I
mean,
think
some of them
plenty of
got.
people are gonna splurge for the
I
extra
think some
ten
of them are
dollars.
more expensive than that. I mean, the
Well,
Well, they
don't
also
look at
they
the
also
price.
have
Don't look at the price of the knitted mock.
they also have like the Sunday Red membership that only if you like if
Yeah.
as long if you're not a part of that, then you can't even get some of the product.
the 3D
Sure.
knit 150, the Delta Polo 120. Then you've got some other ones that were like 130. Then his weird camo that he did, the Cypress tonal camo polo, 175. Your mock, sorry Cam, that one's gonna cost you $150.
Yeah, but
T-shirts
that's
are going
we,
for
we bought
70.
4 of them, so
Yeah, but the
that's high quality shit.
I mean the hoodies, I guess they're not horrible, but $150. I'm not spending $150 on those hoodies. I don't know. It
Are
just,
you spending the 130 on a Peter Millar?
no, I just told. I mean,
Well,
I
that's-
answered it. My Scotty Scheffler starter pack was like $40 total. So, like, I'm always that guy. I am buying.
Where's the closest Nike outlet store to you, Justin?
Well, they're all over the place. I live in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Like we are literally Nike town, but there is one that is
Oh yeah,
6.5
that's true.
miles
I
away.
forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I would have got a hat. I don't mind the hats that were released today.
Yeah, they were okay.
I like
And
Teddy
they're-
said, I'm kind of excited to see what just the future looks like and what else they
Yeah.
come out with.
It is interesting to see. Like, I don't ever think I could picture Tiger in a rope hat.
Yeah,
No.
he'll probably not wear a rope hat.
But if you look like Pac-12 championships for this last week, and like my daughter and I were watching it a little bit, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, that team actually has the good hat." And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's just University of California, and they used to design like it. And then Stanford had a rope hat, and there was like 3 or 4 of the teams that had rope hats. So pretty sure those are going to be all over the golf course this summer.
So what you're saying is YouTube is ruining the future of golf.
No, I actually appreciate it. I love it. I mean, so when my daughter wears the good hat, all the boys on the golf team are like, "Oh my gosh, you have a good hat," and it's like the coolest thing in the world. So I'm
Okay, well, I would
I'm all
stop
for
letting
it.
her
Like,
wear a good hat. Then,
Yeah.
if that's
You
the
need to go and
reaction.
get her a dad hat from Sarah Bay Country Club. That's what she should be wearing.
I don't even know where that's at. Damn.
don't worry about it.
It's in Sarasota. It's in Sarasota, Florida. I really like that place.
Yeah, no, it's a good track.
So
So-
my thing with Sunday Red though is like, dude just got $100 million of PGA Tour equity. Now he's going to go make another 100 mil ski off of.
Oh, it's probably gonna be more than that. Yeah.
Thank God for capitalism, baby. So I can
Yeah.
go spend my money on this stuff.
So the PGA Tour equity piece, I was listening to the Sunday Smiley Kaufman show, and he was talking about how we were talking, they went and played Pine Valley with Thomas, and that was the day they got their checks. And all of a sudden, Justin's like, "Oh yeah, cool, I got $30 million." Like, no, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, like all that.
Did he confirm that's how much he got?
I
Because
mean,
there's been some speculation.
I don't.
Or that's mellow yellow in Teddy's cup, by the way. Mellow yellow. So it's the unhealthiest drink. So my understanding with the equity and everything, nobody actually got paid yet.
No,
It's got caffeine.
It's got to be vested. It's the
Right.
8 years of vesting. So they basically just got a 401k, like all of us normal people in this world. And so now they have a retirement fund.
Yeah, because that's what these guys need. They definitely weren't set up for retirement. Not
No,
at all. Tiger Woods being worth 1.4 billion just did not have retirement in his future.
hey, when they turn him into a complete robot and he lives until he's 205 years old, he's gonna need it. So
People thought having Jack and Arnie and Gary Player hit the first tee shot at the Masters was bad.
Yeah.
250-year-old Tiger out there.
Cyborg Tiger Woods.
He'll still be trying to make the cut too. That's what's going to be.
Yeah, he's
awful.
going out there playing. Yeah.
I think Hatch Golf had a release that they did Robot Tiger. Maybe he's just predicting the future. We're going to see Robot Tiger.
I mean, I'd still watch.
Yeah.
I would too.
Not
If
gonna
I'm
deny
alive,
that
of
at all.
course. You know, if it's 250 years away, then we're out of luck there.
I don't know. You wrap enough copper around you, I think we can get you out there for at least a couple hundred more.
You know, the socks I wore to this qualifier, they were G4 socks. They were great. I couldn't recommend G4 socks more than
until you get
was.
your
They're
Copperfit
great.
sponsorship.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to pay me, then I'm gonna wear them. You know,
All right, Teddy, we're sending them some Copperfit socks.
somebody get the
Maybe a
Copperfit.
Somebody at Copperfit
Yeah.
in the chat.
What do you add? All right. Well, our picks are made. We'll see who's actually got the closest to the best or the worst picks, which I'm actually pretty excited about that. I'm going to say it another time.
Yeah, do we want to recap who we all picked? So I picked Jason Day, outright winner at a 4-under cut line with Martin Trainer dead last.
Good pick.
And then I picked for LIV Joaquin Neiman with Henrik Stenson being dead last.
Also a good pick. I took Maverick McNeely for the PGA Tour to win the CJ Cup. I have Sung Kang. It's coming last. I have a 2-under cut line prop bet. Anthony Kim coming last in the LIV this week in Singapore. And then I have John Rahm winning.
Cam Smith for winning the LIV. And I mean, I'd said AK as well. And then since I can't pick one that I wanted,
I said it first. But.
Lousy Harris just stealing everything from me today. I'm going with Pat Perez. He's gonna fall on his face this week.
I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, and then Adam Scott for winning, and then Brad Hopfinger for being dead last.
And your cut line was 1-under.
1-under, yeah.
Okay.
I think that wraps us up tonight. No, Teddy's got something else.
Well, I was going to say, if you want, do we want to just do like a preliminary PGA Championship pick?
A way too early PGA champ.
A way too early PGA Championship.
Way too early.
Teddy, you can't take my entire outfit from me that way. I know you're thinking it. Don't do this to me. Who are you taking?
So this was Justin's idea to do the way too early.
So I'm actually taking Brooks.
Ooh, he loves himself a good PGA champ.
So he does. He's also, he played okay at the Masters. Just didn't over the weekend. He just kind of fell back, but I feel like he's going to get up for this one. I think he's motivated.
Mm-hmm.
I know the LIV schedule is kind of lacking leading up to it, but I don't know, man. I just got a feeling.
They don't play again after this week until the PGA Championship.
I got a feeling. I feel like his game is pretty well suited for Valhalla as well. I think he's going to be lifting that trophy, dude. 2 weeks.
Lousy here goes with Brooks.
That was going to be my pick. Who are you taking, Cam?
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Go away from, a 5-time major winner like Lousy here did not. He picked somebody who's one of probably the odds-on favorite. I'm going with
he's 20-1. 20-1 odds.
Yeah, whatever, dude. I'm going with somebody who's never won a major before. He competed. He was in the mix last time this was at Valhalla. Rory won. I'm picking Ricky Fowler.
Ooh.
Okay.
I believe he was third, finished third.
I was going to say he was top 5. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. I like it. If you didn't know this, I was at the Waste Management on Tuesday practice round. Ricky was in the group that we walked with.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Wow.
Did he ask you to caddy for him as well?
You know, it was talked about, but he's not ready to move on from his current caddy.
There was a conflict between Nike and Copperfit.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we said you can't pick Scotty because we wanted to make it kind of fun with that. So
I wasn't picking him anyway.
I'm going out on a super limb. I want to see Ludwig win.
I like the pick. I like
That's my
Ludwig,
pick for it. I want to see a new guy come in there. I want to see him. Now, if I had to pick a second, I'm going Max Homa.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I also wouldn't mind seeing Max win. Be his first major, which would be cool.
All right, we're throwing that in DraftKings. We'll see who actually stands up to it and finishes the highest out of it. Our 2-week out pick for PGA Championship.
10 units.
Yeah, with
$100 units.
With that, lousy hair, it's your bedtime.
Bet responsibly, audience. Talking to you, Jay Harvey. Yeah, it's like 11:16 for Teddy. He's been ready to go to bed for about an hour, 15 minutes, and 59 seconds.
3 hours.
Make sure you're liking, subscribing, following us on X, YouTube, and Spotify at the Great Bogey Podcast. Just a friendly reminder, Lousy Hair, JL, and I are working on some creative changes. So those are still coming down the road. We appreciate everybody who tuned in, commented, and who's listening to the podcast. And we will see you all next time.
Jeffrey, you'll see me in a golf hat at least next time.
Scotty Scheffler starter pack coming back.